Daylight saving time is stupid. Why is it called that? You aren't saving daylight. You're just moving the clock. It doesn't change anything. If you didn't have a clock, it wouldn't affect you at all. But it would, because now everyone else is acting like it's 1 hour ahead or 1 hour behind or whatever. And how come only North America, Europe, and a little bit of Australia do daylight savings? So could you time travel by going from North America to, like, Africa? Would you be time traveling then? No, you wouldn't, because nothing actually changed except for the clock on your wall, which wouldn't be on your wall since you're traveling. So what's the point? Wait, no, you could, because one side of the Earth is always daytime and one side's already nighttime. So if you're on the nighttime side and you go to the daytime side, and then you keep going to the next daytime side, which was formerly the nighttime side, then it could be daytime forever, if you're willing to travel that much, I guess. Although I don't think that's possible, because you can't really go faster than the Earth spins. But if you could, then it would be always daytime or always nighttime, your choice. If you're a bat, I guess, if you flew to the nighttime side, you're constantly on the nighttime side, then you wouldn't be nocturnal anymore. You'd just be all day, or all night. All night, I guess. I don't understand. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, now I remember. Daylight savings time is like time that changes that doesn't really change, which brings me to a topic on Scratch. Somehow. So, have any of you ever checked your messages and saw that it said 3 hours ago on the timestamp, even though the thing just happened? I don't know. It happens to me all the time. Anything that's under 3 hours old is marked as 3 hours old for some reason. So Scratch is constantly saying that I lived 3 hours in the future. So according to Scratch, it's triple daylight savings all the time. And now it's quadruple, because there actually is an extra hour. But the other two come from nowhere. What is Scratch thinking? Why is everything 3 hours old? It could be something wrong with, like, the computer clock on my computer, but the computer clock on my computer is accurate. It's 3:18 right now. And on this analog clock, it also says 3:18. So what's up? But according to Scratch, everything's 3 hours older than it is in real life, so I guess it's 12:19 right now. Does Scratch have its own time zone that I'm not aware of? Does this happen to anyone else, or is Scratch specifically targeting me because it knows that I'll talk about it? Speaking of weird time things, you know how, like, every 4 years there's a leap year with an extra day? Because each year is actually 364 and a quarter, so the extra quarters add up to add one whole day every 4 years. Oops, sorry, I said 364, it's actually 365. But whatever, every 4 years there's an extra day. And that extra special day just happened to be the day that I joined Scratch. I was looking at my calendar a few days ago, and I'm like, oh, when's my Scratch anniversary? And then I figured out, oh wait, it's in like 3 years. Thanks. Well, I mean, it's 3:18 where I am. Time zones are a thing, so it might be some other time somewhere else. But according to Scratch, everything is 3 hours ago. So if you just shared a project, apparently I saw it 3 hours ago, even though I just saw it right now. Thanks, Scratch. This has been Billy Can't speak words. This has been Billy Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. Advertising on Scratch is annoying, but because of the fact that Scratch has the What's Happening tab and not a solid notification system is really the main reason why. That's not the topic. Advertising. I've already talked about advertising before. Something that annoys me even more than advertising is people who don't check their spelling. And it's not even their fault. It's not like, oh, they don't know how to spell. If you spell something incorrectly, there's a red line under it. If you right-click, it'll spell check it for you. You don't even have to be good at spelling. You just have to make sure there's no red lines. And especially if you're being critical of someone's project and giving them feedback, you want to make sure that you spell stuff correctly, because otherwise, who's going to take you seriously? No one. Does it cause more problems than advertising? No, not really. But I dislike it equally as much as advertising. Scratch's horrible notification system causes people to advertise. Scratch is not to blame for people misspelling stuff. And it's even worse when someone tries to link a username with, like, the little @ symbol, the A with the squiggly lines around it. You have to make sure that you spell someone's username correctly, or else it won't work properly. What I do, to avoid making myself look like a fool, is copy-paste someone's username after the @ symbol, so that way you can't possibly misspell it. But there's still something in the Scratch comments that's worse than advertising and misspelling and mislinking. And I've only really seen it happen with famous Scratchers on the Explore tab, but they'll have, like, at the end of the animation, comment whatever. Like, they'll have something that they want you to comment. And you guys are the ones that are always complaining about getting spam, so why are you asking for spam? Seems a bit counterproductive. The Scratch comments are for constructive criticism. I'm not promoting people being jerks, and or saying, wow, I liked X project. You should probably do more of X project. Oh, I just thought of something that's also annoying about the Scratch comments. When people copy and paste, like, a big pixel art made out of emojis, or, like, weird stuff that's like, it's a meme, but made out of, like, apostrophes or something. I don't know how it's done, but I see it all the time in trending projects. People just copy paste it, and it's like, it takes up so much room that you have to scroll for, like, at least 15 seconds to get past all of it. It's just a nightmare. And turning off the comments to prevent these sort of things also doesn't really solve much, because now people can't say nice things about your project. Although if everyone's being mean and no one's saying nice things about your project, you probably should turn off the comments. So basically, Billy Netcho's guide to writing a good comment. Step 1, write the comment. Step 2, make sure it's polite. Step 3, make sure everything's spelled correctly. Step 4, post the comment. Quite difficult, eh? Uh-oh, I got through what I wanted to say in only 19 recordings. I usually have at least 20-something. What am I going to do now? Time for some filler. According to the website Scratch Stats, it's a 4-way tie between my most loved project. So, they all have 5 loves, which is kind of a lot. So let's see. The 4 most loved projects are the Doom Square one, which makes sense. Built-in tutorials, which I don't remember that one. Profile picture trends, yeah, I remember that one. That one's pretty recent. And onion skinning, really. That's weird. But then again, I don't know what people like. Apparently you like onions. I bet my least viewed project is this one, because as of this recording, it hasn't even been released yet. I have a lot of free periods in school today, so I might be recording a second rant later. Until then, this has been Billy Netcho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. Hello, welcome to Billy Netcho's Rant, and today, wait a minute, something's missing. No, not something, someone. No, it certainly wasn't you. Why are you here anyway? Where's Jelly?
Jelly felt you were doing well at what you do and don't need a corrections person anymore.
That's ridiculous. I'm terrible at my job. Also, why are you shaking so much?
What? I always shake. Are you just now noticing that?
Well, since I'm in need of a corrections person, let's talk about something that needs corrections. And those are assumptions about Scratch that non-Scratchers would assume. Which I guess, yeah, that's what assumptions are. The first assumption is that Scratch is a website only for little kids, which is obviously wrong. Most of the people on Scratch are teenagers, or at least the ones that I've met, and obviously Griff Patch, he's like a grown adult. Another assumption is that Scratch can only make super simple projects.
This show sure doesn't prove those people wrong. I could make something more complicated with 2 rubber bands.
I guess the only people who would believe that are those who saw the official Scratch YouTube channel. And wow, those tutorials are simple. Which I guess makes sense, because those tutorials are for the little kids who use Scratch, who I just said didn't exist. Wait a minute. I really do need a corrections person. Tennerbot, can you correct things?
Not even my cousin autocorrect can correct things. And that's his sole purpose. What makes you think I can do better?
Well, do you at least know where Jelly is?
Probably having a better time than she ever did on this show.
Will I ever get anywhere asking you questions?
Not sure. How about you ask again?
Ugh, you're the worst. I much prefer having Jelly, because then I can actually talk about the stuff I want to talk about without being interrupted by you, or anyone else.
Fine. Do you want to know where Jelly is?
Yes, please.
She's celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Moron.
What? That's today?
Yes.
How come no one told me? Ugh, it's a holiday and I'm not even doing anything festive. Tennerbot, quick, do something festive.
Whatever.
Well, that's the bare minimum. Anyway, this has been Billy Netcho's Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. I don't know why, but I've been seeing a lot of personality quiz projects on Scratch. What a personality quiz is basically a quiz that you take, and then it tells you that your personality is similar to X. Like, your personality is similar to a dog, or your personality is similar to whatever cartoon character. But I'm not going to complain about those, because they're harmless. Literally the definition of harmless. There's not anything really to complain about. You get exactly what you clicked on, and the quality that you'd expect. Decent. Decent Scratch quality. The same decent Scratch quality as, let's say, a generic animation on the Explore tab. But is that generic animation really decent Scratch quality? Doing an animation on Scratch requires the use of Scratch. And I think I've brought this up back in the single digits of episodes, but Scratch animations don't take advantage of the fact that they're scratch animations. For example, I refuse to continue talking until you press the spacebar. Scratch animators don't take advantage of the fact that viewer input can modify things or change them. And as of this moment, I'd say they still aren't taking advantage of that because I'm not a Scratch animator. And taking advantage of that does not make sure that Scratch animators now do take advantage of it because I'm not a Scratch animator. This is barely animation. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Which, by the way, I'm not sure how the Explore tab works if your project gets on there. I'm assuming they don't notify you because I've seen people be surprised. But I think that they should and ask you which categories your animation wants to go under. Because I've seen animations with the word games in the title go under the games category just because they said games. Which doesn't make any sense because if you made an actual game, you wouldn't put game in the title. Pretty obvious it's a game if it's a game. I also say that there's so many generic platformers in the games category on the Explore tab that there should just be an entire category for platformers. Because no one's going to put game in the title of a game, but they will put platformer in the title of a platformer. That's just how things work. Wait, what was I originally talking about? How to get back to talking about the Explore tab? What was I talking about before? I just re-listened to an earlier recording, and apparently I was talking about personality quizzes. Not sure how that segued into Explore tab, but seemingly everything segues into Explore tab. Further proof that these episodes are not scripted. If they were scripted, you'd be doing something. Oh, wait, you did something. Does that mean that this is now scripted? Anyway, this has been Billy Nutch's Rant, where I went off topic twice, which I think is now my new personal best for not noticing that I changed the subject. Woohoo. How have you interrupted me before I even started talking?
Correct. I'm trying a new approach to stop you. I figured out if I keep interrupting you, you'll never start talking. And if you never start talking, then I won't have to listen to you.
Or you could do the smart thing and just not be around when I'm talking. It's not like you have anything else to do, so why spend your time near me?
I have lots of important superhero things to do. You wouldn't understand.
I have yet to see you do anything heroic. You keep saying that you're a superhero, yet you haven't done anything good ever. But I'm not going to waste any more time on you. So what I was going to talk about is... Hey, that's not cool. So, today's topic is... If you do that one more time, I'm gonna... Anyway, what I was really going to talk about was... I can't remember. But I'm sure you can just imagine what I was going to say. Stuff along the lines of, the robot effect is bad, stuff like that. That's how most of these go. This was not a Billy Nutch's Rant, and I'm sure you didn't enjoy it. Thanks a lot. Apparently I've been on Scratch for a year now. I say apparently because I wasn't aware. Thanks to Soylina Fadia for reminding me. Why aren't you following her? Go follow her right now. I'll wait for you, don't worry. No, I won't. So, for my 1 year anniversary, I'm making a Billy Nutcho themed game. And when I say making, I mean finishing, because I've been working on it for months. And months. It's been a long time. It's a big game. And it'll have every character from the Billy Nutcho series. You know, all 4 of them. As well as some new ones. Will any of the characters from the game be on the show? I don't know, probably not, but there's a Scratch-themed level, there's a level that takes place right here in the park, and there's a lot of Scratch and movie references too, if you're into that. So yeah, that'll be out in maybe a week, if I'm fast, which I'm trying to be. But as for the Billy Nutch's Rant show, please use the suggestion studio. It's really hard for one person to come up with topics that hasn't been done before. Plus you'll get credited for the idea, so it's not like I'm taking anything away from you. And this isn't really a rant, I just wanted to tell you about my game. So yeah, I hope you're excited, and I hope you enjoyed what I've been doing so far. An often overlooked feature in Scratch is the unshared projects. And you might be thinking, well, if they're unshared projects, what good are they doing? No one can see them. But that's where you're wrong. You can see them. Those projects are only for you. And if you don't share them, they'll continue to remain only for you. And if you're smart, you can turn those unshared projects into useful tools for making projects that are shared. So first thing is you can make a template. I use templates. That's how I can get these out so quickly. For a more in-depth look at templates, you can probably go... I did a rant on templates a while ago. But earlier rants are not labeled, so you're gonna have to sift through a few to find it. Sorry. So basically what a template is all of the assets and resources you need to make a animation or game into one project that you can then make a copy of and modify into what you want. Another tool you can have is a sort of dressing room, I guess, where you draw a bunch of characters in one project to use in another project. So it's like a template, but it's only characters and not code or anything else. I'd show you some examples from my dressing room, but almost all the characters that aren't used on the show will be used in the game, and I don't want to spoil my game before it even comes out. And the funny thing is, people could already be doing this, and I could just be talking to a wall. I don't know. Since these projects aren't shared, I don't know if people have been doing this or not. So I'm just going to assume you haven't, and I'm actually teaching you something. A very, very useful feature on Scratch is the extensions, which are packs of code blocks that can be added by clicking the Add Extension button in the bottom left. But, however, extensions are permanent, and once they're on a project, you can't take them out. Here's where the unshared projects come in. Test out the extensions in an unshared project that you don't care about before you use them in a project that you actually do care about. Because once you put them in a project, you can't take them out. It's a permanent thing. I'm not sure why it's a permanent thing, because it's not like deleting blocks is a thing that Scratch can't do. If you have a custom block and you delete it, it'll just ask, do you want to delete every use of this block? And you can say yes. So why don't they have that for extensions, where you can delete an extension, and it just removes all the blocks that use that extension? Would that not be so hard? But this isn't one of those rants. This is an actually educational one. For example, when I was making my intro, I didn't just add the music extension and start fiddling. I had a separate project that I made it in, and then imported it to my template, so I can use it in every animation. Or not really, it's not an animation. I've always said that this isn't an animation, but people still call it an animation because what else are you going to call it? I've concluded that most Scratchers have more unshared projects than they do shared projects. This doesn't apply to me, however. I only have 20 unshared projects, and like 60-something shared ones. So yeah, unshared projects, they can't be viewed by anyone. They can only be viewed by you. But there's a way to make unshared projects even more protected, I guess. And that's by trashing them. Yes, seriously. When you trash a project, it goes into the trash section of your My Stuff, which is the portfolio icon. And once they're in the trash, when you click them, instead of the box that'll say, do you want to share this project? It'll say, do you want to remove this project from the trash? So there's no way to accidentally share your project when you're not done with it. I haven't heard anyone really talking about this, but it's an actually valid strategy if you want to make a project that is absolutely guaranteed to not be accidentally shared. So yeah, that's my thoughts on unshared projects and how to further secure unshared projects. And this has been Billy and Rant, and I hope you enjoyed. A thing that I've been seeing a lot on Scratch recently is answering blank amount of questions. It's a remix thing. The way it works is people remix a project that has a bunch of questions, and then they answer the questions. Yep, that's it. Nothing complicated, just answering questions. Hey, I spend most of my time asking questions that don't get answered, so I think it's time to start answering questions that don't get asked. Although I would look like a moron if I asked questions to myself, so...
Glad to be here again.
Okay, great. Let's try to answer as many of these questions as possible.
First question, what is your favorite color?
Light green or light blue?
Favorite animal?
Chimpanzee.
Favorite video game?
Dark Souls 2.
Movie?
Terminator 2.
Favorite song?
I don't know, but it probably has 2 in the title.
Favorite category in the Explore tab?
Games, I guess.
How many questions have you answered?
6.
What episode is this?
68.
How often do you make mistakes in Scratch?
When I'm doing this, not very often, but when I'm making a game, constantly.
I'm out of questions. My turn now. Ask me some.
Okay, what's your favorite place to be?
Anywhere with a charging port.
But there's no charging port in the park.
Your point being?
Okay, fine. I guess I kind of walked into that one. What's your favorite number?
Pi.
Yeah. I always thought pi was kind of a weird name for a number.
Pi is a number? I didn't know that.
I have something special planned for April Fool's Day, and I don't want to waste April Fool's Day talking about the thing that I don't want to talk about. So I'm going to be covering April Fool's Day on Scratch today, instead of on April Fool's Day. According to the Scratch Wiki, Scratch has been doing April Fool's Day things for 10 years now, which is obviously longer than I've been on Scratch. Most of the April Fool's jokes were just changes to the forms, or searching something in the search bar gives you something special. Lame stuff like that. but there are also some that were actually pretty interesting. Let's talk about them. I think April Fool's Day 2020 was the most influential of all the days because it added everyone's favorite meme, the cat blocks. You know, like custom block definitions and when green flag is clicked, when sprite is clicked, those kinds of blocks. You know how they're shaped like a dome and then a rectangle? Well, April Fool's Day 2020 changed the dome to be a cat. Whoa, amazing. I forgot it was April Fool's Day that day, and when I logged on to work on a game, I was like, wait a minute, what's this? And I'm pretty sure that when you clicked on the cats, they'd like meow or do something cute like that. Unfortunately, all the cat blocks perished the following day. RIP. The Scratch team has also commenced in a bit of trolling in the earlier days of Scratch, back when they didn't care, I don't think. In 2013, apparently, in the What's Happening section, they changed all the icons to be Pico. Which, sure, Pico, everyone's favorite Scratch mascot. Actually, no one's favorite Scratch mascot. And even further back, in 2011, they did something way more annoying. Apparently, they changed everyone's profile picture to be a rage face, saying, April Fool's Day. Can you imagine if they did that today? But instead of using an outdated meme like the rage face, they did something like change everyone's profile picture to Big Chungus or something awful like that? Imagine the chaos, the riots that would ensue if everyone's profile picture was Big Chungus. Like, I don't even want to imagine. But they get more annoying, surprisingly. In either 2013 or 14, I don't know, I closed the wiki because I'm tired of switching tabs. It said that the Scratch title was changed to Nay. Nay. Nay? You might be wondering, Nay, what is Nay? Why is Nay? What does Nay mean? What's the significance of Nay? And I say, apparently, Nay is still in the Scratch sprite library. Could go dig it up. And then you'll get to see the horror that is Nay. This is the Nay. Nay. Horses make the sound Nay. Scratch Cat is now a My Little Pony. This is truly the saddest day in history. Poor Scratch Cat. I say the only reasonable thing to do now is burn it. But tomorrow's April Fool's Day, and we don't know what'll happen. So will Scratch go back to its old trolling days of annoying everyone, or will it do something simple like the Scratch Cat blocks? Will it be a hit? Will it be a miss? Will they even do an April Fool's Day joke? Who knows? Find out next time on, where am I going with this? What I'm trying to say is I'm excited to see what Scratch team will do on April Fool's Day tomorrow, okay? I know what I'm going to do on April Fool's Day tomorrow, and it'll be an extra special topic. One that I've been researching for a while now. So, this has been Brilliant Outros Rant, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, welcome to Brilliant Outros Rant, and today we have a very special episode. Today is April Fool's Day, but I'm not going to be pulling any pranks. I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've been thinking about for a while now. Most video games have sequels, and when there's 3 of a game in a series, it's called a trilogy. In my opinion, the best trilogy of games is Dark Souls. And what game happened to come out on April 1st, 2015? Dark Souls 2, that's what. The best game ever made. Which obviously got me thinking about trilogies, which brings us to the topic of today, which is trilogies. Specifically, a trend I've noticed in most video game trilogies. The first game in a trilogy is usually rudimentary, but still enjoyable, like Dark Souls 1. And since I can't just compare everything to Dark Souls, let's say also like Super Mario Bros. 1. Both of those games are pretty simple, but still enjoyable. The sequel, however, takes what the first game did and changes it a bit, usually for the better, like in Dark Souls 2 or Super Mario Bros. 2. But the third game is where things start to go south. The third game in a trilogy is usually a cash grab or a look what I can do, or both. More so for Dark Souls 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 is still a really good game, but I'm not a big fan of Dark Souls 3 because of those reasons. Some stuff in Super Mario Bros. 3 is like, hey, remember this from the first game? Well, now it's in the third game, and it has better graphics. Isn't that cool? And yeah, it is cool. But Dark Souls 3 does that way too often. Half of the game is just references to the first game, and there's barely anything. It feels like the same game, but with better graphics, and, I guess, faster controls. Better controls are needed in the Mario games, because the first Super Mario game is slippery. Like, the entire game is played on ice, that's how it feels. But the third game, it does not feel like the entire game is played on ice. Except for the levels that are covered in ice, but that makes sense. I'm sure everyone's familiar with how Super Mario plays out, but not everyone's familiar with how Dark Souls plays out. So, quick explanation. In Dark Souls, the main way of avoiding damage is rolling. You can roll through an enemy's attack, so if they charge up their sword and are about to hit you, you can just roll out of the way. And in Dark Souls 1, you have a limited amount of rolls. And once you run out of rolls, you have to kind of walk away, and then come back a few seconds later when you have all your energy back. But rolling in Dark Souls 3 takes up barely any energy, so it's super easy. All you have to do is spam the roll button whenever someone's trying to attack you. You need very little timing, and it makes it less of a risk reward and more of a how much risk can I pull off before I get hit once thing. In Super Mario Brothers, you can only get hit like 2 or 3 times. And same thing with Dark Souls. You do not have a lot of health. Or you do, but things do a lot of damage. The first Mario game, the jumping, which is the main way of avoiding things, is really wonky. Like you jump, and then you stay in the air for a little bit, and then you fall down. It makes no sense. But in the third Mario game, they made it so the jumping is actually fluid and fun, meaning that it's easier to avoid enemy attacks, but still requires skill. Like, if a fireball's coming at you, you can't just jump too early or too late. You have to kind of find the middle ground. So answer me this. How did Mario Brothers 3, a really, really old game, do a better job at improving their dodging system than Dark Souls 3, which is a game all about dodging stuff? How does that make any sense? And Dark Souls 3 also leans towards the cash grab side because of a few reasons. Well, the first thing is the game is super short. In Dark Souls 2, there's like 40-something bosses. And do you want to guess how many there are in Dark Souls 3? 16 or 18. That's not a lot. Not only that, but one of the expansions that you had to pay for is just a level from the first Dark Souls game, but with a really crappy boss. How? Why would you do that? But that's not a fair comparison to Mario, because I don't think Mario has any expansion packs. Or maybe it does, and I'm just misinformed. I don't know a lot about Mario. So yeah, that's my thoughts about video game trilogies and how they have trends and stuff. So in conclusion, if you're going to play a classic Mario game, play the third one. And if you want to play a Dark Souls game, play the first two. Don't bother with the third one, unless you just really want more Dark Souls. And with that being said, praise the sun!